she's qualified to jump back on the line. She's qualified to do a lot of things in restaurants, being around her whole life. So she goes, well, I want to be a server. And the manager told her, we don't promote from within. We don't promote from within. We don't do that here. Hello, Chef Marcus Guiliano here, and I'm your chef on a mission. Today's mission is business. I've been focusing my videos on business lately, and I'm going to keep doing that because a lot of people need help out there. And it appears that Jamie and I have a smooth running restaurant and everything's great. We're 15 years old in the restaurant, and things did not start out that way, and I love sharing our experiences. Thus, 50mistakes.com, the website, where we talk about a lot of mistakes that people still make in the restaurant industry and in business in general. Today I want to talk about managers, how a manager can be so detrimental to your business. I want to share a personal experience that our daughter's having right now. Our daughter's living in Tennessee, and she's working in a restaurant, and my daughter has served. She's waited tables at our restaurant for several years. Very, very good at it, can run the restaurant basically. My daughter's very, very in tune to the whole restaurant business because she's been around her whole life. So Jamie's off camera here, but tell us some of the stories that Courtney's going through right now. So Easter Sunday they weren't going to be that busy, right? And she wanted to.
So the manager, Courtney mentioned to the.
Now Courtney's our daughter's 18 years old.
Mentioned to the manager, hey, I have some ideas. Why don't you do X, Y, and Z? Why don't you take $1 off of this, to
add an egg onto something?
Add an egg onto the plate at no charge. Just giving ideas, throwing out ideas.
Because our daughter's seen us do this for years.
How to drum up business, whether it's one table or 10 tables.
Right, so the deal was they weren't going to be busy for Easter. So our daughter's like, well, why don't you give a free egg? Why don't you upgrade? Why don't you do something? Why don't you do some kind of promotion to get people in? And the manager said to her, what's the manager say to her, Jamie?
The manager said, I would get in a lot of trouble by the owners if I gave things away.
I'd be in trouble if I gave things away by the owners. And she also said they would lose money.
They would lose money.
They would lose money by giving an egg, upgrading an egg for free or something. Here's what, this is so indicative of restaurant managers, even cooks and other staff. I've worked at some of the most beautiful places, the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, the Greenbrier, and the server would come back and say, can I have some extra sauce for, and sometimes the cook would say, you need to put a ticket in for that, you need to charge him for that. And it's like, really? It's extra sauce, just give them the sauce. Or they want an extra potato, I need a ticket for that, so I can't put it out, and you better charge them. And it's just like, really? The customer's already spending $40 a person, $50 a person. They're already spending. Give them extra sauce. Give them extra mayonnaise. Give them an extra pickle. But you have so many people that think like that's their own property. I understand that restaurants need to have a checks and balance system, right? So you just can't walk into the kitchen and start grabbing food randomly and taking it out so it gets on bills. But make things easy for your guests to get a second, extra sauce or whatever it is. Some kind of make it easy. Make the kitchen staff understand that if it wasn't for that guest sitting out in the seat there, they might not be getting their paycheck. And managers are like that. Managers are like, I can't give anything away. I can't give anything away. You automatically budget in your restaurant to give things away. That's what you do. You price things $1 more across the board because you understand that people will ask for extra stuff. People will. Now, my philosophy is burgers, pizzas, especially burgers. You price your burgers all the same price, unless you're adding some fancy ingredient like lobster or truffles or something over the top. But you have a same price across the board for all your burgers. It's not $12.99, $13.99, $14.99, $15.99, and it's not like the customer's going to get the bill and say, wow, I got billed extra for cheese, I got billed extra for bacon, I got billed extra for this, I got billed extra for this, and I kept building my burger. One price across the board, price it so it makes sense. So everybody has the same price and that's it. Jamie, what are some other stories that...
So the latest story...
The latest, yeah.
The latest one was that they have been, so she's a hostess there.
Daughter's a hostess.
So I'm not really sure why she's only a hostess. Maybe that's what they were hiring at that moment. They weren't hiring servers, but now they're trying to hire for all positions.
All positions. So they're opening up. They're getting busier, I guess.
Getting busier.
How new is the restaurant?
I don't really know. I don't know. But the owners are absent. Our daughter has yet to meet the owner.
Absentee owners. Okay.
Restaurant. So I guess the manager was interviewing somebody yesterday, and right after the interview, right in front of my daughter, she was like, I don't understand why these people come in for interviews and they have absolutely no experience being servers and they're cashiers.
Right. So the manager's interviewing people. And the person being interviewed was a cashier, not a server. The manager says in front of our daughter, I don't understand why these people come in here and just like starts airing out this stuff that's really not necessary. So my daughter says that she wants to be a server because she's qualified. She's qualified to be the manager. My daughter can cook in the kitchen as well too. She just does everything amazing. She's our daughter, but she's worked the kitchen with me July 4th last year. Her and I worked the whole kitchen here, and she rocked it out. She's amazing. So she's qualified to jump back on the line. She's qualified to do a lot of things in restaurants, being around her whole life. So she goes, well, I want to be a server. And the manager told her, we don't promote from within. We don't promote from within. We don't do that here. And I was like, that is such a way to lose a valuable employee. That's a way. First of all, you have to have an organization that nurtures your staff and brings them up and promotes them and brings them through. Now, you also have to be very careful you don't out-promote somebody out of a job, because that happens too. People want promotions, they want more money, you promote them to a job that they can't handle and it's too much, and then they end up being a disgruntled and defective employee. But that's not the case all the time. You bring people up, you nurture them, you give them the proper tools, and you let them come up through the ranks. So there's a lot of places with a dishwasher, the chef starts out to be a dishwasher, then he's a prep cook, line cook, sous chef, and then all of a sudden he's a chef 5 years later, okay? Everybody has to start and work their way up. If you don't give your staff opportunities to work up, you're doing an injustice to yourself and an injustice to them. The worst thing is, my daughter knows she can be a server, and she should be a server there. So now she's going to be looking for a server job somewhere instead of sticking around here.
You've already trained her.
She's already trained. But now she knows she has zero hope. She has zero hope of ever moving up at this place because the manager told her we don't. So we advised her to fill out an application and apply for the server job. I don't know if that's going to work, but apply for the server job. They're interviewing. So the manager's there. The manager sees my daughter. The manager knows my daughter's much more qualified than the person they just interviewed, and told my daughter that this frustrating that people aren't coming that are qualified here, but at the same time, I can't promote you because we don't do that here. Some of these restaurants, the managers are killing you. If you're an owner that's an absentee owner, some of the owners are like this too, don't get me wrong, but this is a situation where my daughter's not met the owners. The manager is just making stuff up or just doing stuff so irrational. There was the buffet. They were doing a buffet, and my daughter said to one of the hostesses or something, let's change the tongs out, the utensils.
One of the new hostesses came in
and
said, I have this great idea.
I have this great idea.
Let's change out the tongs. And Courtney goes, that's a great idea. So they went to the new manager, to the manager. And
the manager basically said that they're fine because the health department's fine. The health department said every 4 hours to change them out, and the girls were like, well, they're kind of dirty, let's change them out. And she goes, if it's fine for the health department, it's fine for me. Here you have two girls that want to do better, that have noticed that small detail, right? Because this business is about details. And I teach all of my staff, details, 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 details. If you're not going to take the time, if you're a cook and you put something in the storeroom, and if you don't take time to open it out of the box and line it up and make it look like a grocery store, GSL look, we call it, grocery store look. If you don't take the time to put cans of ketchup, cans of beans, bottles of wine in the wine rack in the proper places, you're not going to take the time to put the carrot or the protein, the beef, whatever it is, on the plate. You're not going to take the time to do that. And the details are so important. When you walk in the front door of a restaurant, if the staff sees leaves and papers, if they're not going to pick them up, they're not going to pick up the stuff that's in the bathroom. They're not going to wipe the rim of the plate when the rim of the plate is dirty. They're not going to look at the glass every time. These details are contagious. Paying attention to details is contagious. So if you don't, well, you do one thing is how you do everything, is the theory here. I was listening to, I think, Ed Milet. I saw him speak recently. And he was like, man, when I go to the bathroom and my office, if there's paper on the floor, I pick it up and I throw it away. Because that's how I do everything. If I can't do that, or if I can't go to the grocery store, unload my shopping cart and go 3-4 spots over and put the shopping cart back in the same spot where it belongs, how bad I do that is how bad I'm going to do everything in the organization. It's a trickle-down effect. So that's why I said paying attention to details is contagious. So here my daughter and this new employee want to change the tongs and make it look nice for the guests. And the manager basically says that the health department doesn't require it, and whatever the health department requires is fine by me, even though these girls want to do it, and even though the utensils are dirty. If you're an owner and you have a manager like this, you probably don't know it, first of all, because you're probably not there enough to understand it. My suggestion is to do a 360, to do reviews on the managers and ask all the staff. If you're an absentee owner, you need to ask all the staff members to review the manager. So what we do here at my restaurant is we do 360 reviews, where everybody reviews each other, anonymously, of course. And so the cook in the kitchen gets reviewed by everybody, the bartender gets reviewed by everybody, by myself, and by themselves as well. So that manager, the owner, should be walking in and handing out surveys, reviews to all of the staff. How is manager Kim doing? Rate her on this, rate her on this, rate her on that, rate her on that. And then manager Kim needs to get the same thing. Rate yourself on this, 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 and this. And then you as the owner, which then in this case the owner has no idea what's going on, needs to then look at all this and see what's going on and see where there's patterns at. So the power of a 360 review is very, very important. Now, manager Kim probably doesn't have to answer that much to the owner. Manager Kim, I'm just calling her Kim, I don't know what her name is. Manager Kim, just makes things up as she goes along. She does things that are convenient for herself. She's not thinking of the business at all in her best interest at all. Else she'd be doing promotions. She'd be encouraging staff to move up. She'd be nurturing staff, and she'd be training staff, and she wouldn't creating that kind of environment. So I would definitely start, if I was this place, start with the 360 reviews, have all the staff members, kitchen staff, front of the house, review this manager and take all that information and compile it and then go back to the manager. Now, the owner at that point should be a coach to the manager, not going in front of him and say, you suck, but basically, here's some concerns I have with the review that just happened, that how all the staff views you. They think in this category here, as far as follow-through, as far as attentiveness, professional, here's where they rated you as a whole. Here's where they rated you as a whole. How can we get that up to the next level? There's some examples that we can do. What can you exactly do? And the questions might say, like, give me an example of why you would work for manager Kim again. Give me an example why you would never work for manager Kim again. What is her best? What is her worst? What is one thing you don't like about her? What is one thing you love about her, right? So get both answers across the board here and try to review manager Kim. Then the owner has to go in and, of course, use all that information in a very constructive, positive way. And I got to tell you, it doesn't sound like manager Kim is fit for the job. And I don't know if any coaching is going to save manager Kim. But my organization, she wouldn't be here and she wouldn't be doing that. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano. Go over to 50mistakes.com, 50mistakes.com. Get a bunch of coaching, advice, materials, information, all kinds of stuff. I'm here to help. I also do coaching and consulting. I'd love to help you in your business.